If you haven't yet stepped into this chilling world of isolation and dark folklore, now's the time. The Witch is a film that demands to be seen and felt. Thank you for joining us as we explored the chilling depths of The Witch. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from the shadowed corners of cinema. And remember, never stray too far from the path. Available to watch now. The Witch isn't just a movie, it's an experience. A tale of dread, paranoia, and the fragile lines between faith and fear. It lingers in your mind, like a shadow in the corner of your eye. The Witch is a 2015 horror film directed by Robert Eggers, who has a relatively sparse list of directing credits, and primarily does work in production design and costume design. The film centers around a family of Puritans during the early 17th century, excommunicated from their church and living in a remote part of the New England wilderness. After their newborn baby disappears, strange happenings start occurring around their homestead, and the family begins to spiral into paranoia and madness. As is all too common with critically acclaimed, low-budget independent horror films, The Witch was tragically overlooked by most of the general public, and the few casual filmgoers that did see it gave it lukewarm reviews. And I openly admit that this is not a movie for everyone. It is practically the dictionary definition of a slow-burn horror movie, and those expecting a ceaseless onslaught of jump scares and crimson showers of viscera will be sorely disappointed. Though it is only about an hour and a half, the film never once felt rushed or bloated, and in fact feels quite a bit longer than its running time. You can feel the family tearing itself apart, minute by minute, and the sense of despair and dread that pervades the movie is crushing. The tone of The Witch is further enhanced by the simple, yet highly effective camera work. Admittedly, you won't find too many surprises. The camera generally remains stationary, and there is little in here that will truly wow you. Nevertheless, the cinematography has this sinister, creeping feeling that bodes very well with the film's subject material. As Drew McEwen from HitFix observes, "It feels like we're watching something we should not be seeing." The color palette, or lack thereof, also contributes to the film's atmosphere. Bitter, bleak, muted hues make it seem as though the life has been sapped from the landscape, highlighting the tormented family's hopeless situation. The acting and characters are where this movie truly shines. All of the actors, even the youngest children, do a superb job. Everyone speaks in a flowery, times-accurate King Jamesy lilt, which works wonders in regards to immersion. Though, if someone were to watch The Witch without knowing this beforehand, it would probably make the movie hard to follow. As a matter of fact, this was far and away the biggest complaint I heard about the movie. Still, for those of us who are dead set on historical accuracy, you will be greatly satisfied. But to be honest, even if there were no accents, the characters would still be fascinating. There's a huge emphasis on the role of religion for early European settlers, and the constant struggle between religious life and the well-being of the family makes for a captivating and suspenseful story. Is there anything I didn't like about this movie? From purely objective, critical perspective, there's very little in The Witch to find fault with. I do think that I should give a fair word of warning, however. Though this movie doesn't have a whole lot of on-screen violence, is still very unsettling and disturbing in its implications. An example would be when the movie reveals the ultimate fate of the family's missing baby. I should also mention that this movie is exactly as scary as you want to be. And no, that isn't meant to knock the film's scariness overall. This just means that if you're willing to use your imagination, really invest yourself into the characters, and analyze the fine details, The Witch can become the scariest movie you've ever seen. What you put into the movie is directly proportional to what you'll get out of it. If you allow it to, it will worm its way into your mind, gnawing at your subconscious, and certainly make you think twice about going into the forest alone. And as a horror fan, that is about the highest amount praise I can give. The next morning, Thomasin and Caleb sneak into the forest to check a trap. Their dog Fowler chases a hare, with Caleb in pursuit. The hare frightens their horse, which throws Thomasin to the ground and knocks her unconscious. Caleb becomes lost and discovers Fowler's disemboweled body. Delving further into the thicket, he discovers a hovel from which the witch, disguised as a seductive young woman, emerges and kisses him. Thomasin awakens and finds her way home by following William's voice. As Catherine berates Thomasin for taking Caleb into the woods, William defends Thomasin by reluctantly admitting that he sold the cup. That night, Caleb returns to the farm naked, delirious, and mysteriously ill. Catherine suggests that Caleb has fallen victim to witchcraft and prays for him. The next day, Caleb goes into violent convulsions and vomits a whole apple before passionately proclaiming his love for Christ and dying peacefully. The twins accuse Thomasin of practicing witchcraft, but she in turn accuses the two of them for their supposed conversations with Black Phillip and confronts their father on his intentions to send her away. Angered by his children's behavior, William locks them in the goat house. In the middle of the night, the twins and Thomasin awake to find the witch, appearing as a naked old woman, drinking the blood of a nanny goat. She turns towards them and laughs, before attacking the twins off-screen as Thomasin watches in terror. In the house, Catherine has a hallucinatory vision in which Caleb and Samuel have returned. She takes Samuel and nurses him. In reality, she has exposed her breasts to a raven, which proceeds to peck away at her body. At dawn, William finds the goat stable destroyed, the goats eviscerated, the twins missing, and an unconscious Thomasin with bloodied hands. As she stirs, Black Phillip gores and kills him. An unhinged Catherine blames Thomasin for everything that has happened and tries to strangle her, forcing Thomasin to tearfully kill her mother in self-defense with a billhook. Now alone, Thomasin enters the goat house and urges Black Phillip to speak to her. The goat responds in a human voice and offers her the life she desires. When she accepts, he materializes into a handsome black-clad man, tells her to remove her clothes and sign her name in a book. Thomasin, accompanied by Black Phillip in his goat form, then enters the forest nude, where she finds a coven holding a witch's sabbath around a bonfire. The witches begin to levitate. Thomasin joins them, laughing hysterically as she ascends above the trees. One thing that I really loved about this film after rewatching it is how much it plays with the folklore of New England witches. Elements like flying ointment, for example, the substance the witch uses the newborn baby to make, are ripe with history. Not to mention the incredibly satisfying and powerful ending, which I won't completely spoil here, but I will say that I love it. The film puts Christianity, patriarchy, and so much more on trial. Subscribe this channel for more update. So please visit this channel and check horror stories. See you soon for next video. Thanks for watching. The next moves, coming soon. Subscribe for new updates. Thanks for watching Pumpkin Scary The Exorcist Horror Movies, a groundbreaking film depicting the harrowing exorcism of a young girl possessed by a demonic force.